The story of tiramisu is not a simple one. It's actually a story wrapped in a sweet, creamy argument between two regions of Italy. Both Veneto and Friuli Venezia Giulia claim to be its birthplace. For many years, the city of Treviso in Veneto held the popular title. The story from Treviso points to a restaurant called Le Beccherie. There, in the 1960s, a woman named Alba Campeol and a pastry chef named Roberto Linguanotto supposedly created the dessert. They say Alba was looking for a nourishing treat after giving birth to her son. She remembered the simple energy-boosting snacks of her childhood, made with egg yolks and sugar. This memory inspired the rich, layered dessert we know today, a comforting and elegant creation. The claim from Le Beccherie was widely accepted for a long time. It was a charming story that fit the gentle, restorative nature of the dessert. The restaurant even had a notarized document from 1972 to prove its creation. This seemed like strong evidence, and for decades, food writers and chefs told this version of the story. Treviso became known as the home of tiramisu, and tourists would visit Le Beccherie to taste the original. The Campeol family never patented their recipe, wanting it to be a gift to the world. They saw it as a symbol of Italian hospitality, something to be shared freely rather than owned. This generous spirit helped the dessert's fame spread quickly across Italy and beyond. However, a rival claim emerged from the small town of Tolmezzo, in the region of Friuli Venezia Giulia. This story goes back even further, to the 1950s. At the Albergo Roma, a hotel restaurant, a chef named Norma Pielli was serving a dessert she called Tiramisu, which later became Tiramisu. Her version was slightly different, served in a semi-frozen slice called a trancio. The proof from Friuli came from old menus and hotel bills from the 1950s that listed the dessert. Locals from Tolmezzo remembered eating this special treat long before the story from Treviso became famous. They argued that their claim was older and therefore more authentic, a true taste of their region's culinary history. The debate became quite serious, a matter of regional pride. Both sides presented their evidence with passion. Food historians dug through archives and journalists wrote countless articles about the delicious controversy. Finally, in 2017, the Italian Ministry of Agricultural, Food and Forestry Policies made an official decision. After reviewing the historical evidence, they declared that tiramisu was a traditional agri-food product of Friuli Venezia Giulia. The menus from the Albergo Roma in Tolmezzo provided the oldest written proof. While Treviso will always be part of the dessert story, the official title now belongs to Friuli, settling the sweet scandal once and for all. The name tiramisu is wonderfully direct. In the Italian language, it translates literally to pick me up or pull me up. This simple phrase perfectly captures the dessert's effect. It's a mix of strong coffee, rich mascarpone, and energy-giving eggs and sugar. It's designed to lift your spirits and give you a gentle boost. This name is not just a description, it's also the key to understanding the many legends surrounding the dessert's origins. Each story connects the dessert to a moment when someone needed a little extra strength, comfort, or encouragement. The name itself tells a story of care and restoration, a promise of a small, delicious revival. One of the most colorful legends takes us to the brothels of Treviso in the 19th century. The story goes that the maitress, or madam of the house, would serve a simple version of the dessert to customers. It was meant to give them energy and vigor at the end of their visit. This tale adds a layer of mischievous history to tiramisu, painting it as a secret, potent treat. While this story is likely just a myth, it has become a popular part of the tiramisu folklore. It connects the dessert to a hidden, more risque side of Italian life, far from the family dinner table. This legend adds a touch of intrigue to an otherwise wholesome dessert. A more wholesome story connects tiramisu to Venetian gondoliers. It was said that they would eat a simple version to stay warm and strong during long cold days on the canals. Another tale suggests it was a nourishing food for new mothers. After giving birth, women would be given a rich mixture of egg yolk, sugar, and coffee to help them recover their strength. This connects back to the story told by Alba Campeol of Le Beccherie. Similarly, students were said to eat it during long nights of studying for exams, needing the caffeine and sugar to stay awake and focused. These stories all share a common theme: tiramisu as a source of comfort and energy. Whether it was for lovers, mothers, or students, the meaning of pick-me-up is clear. Tiramisu was never just a simple sweet. It was a functional food, a restorative tonic made with love and care. These legends, even if not entirely true, tell us a lot about how Italians view food. Food is not just for pleasure, it's also for healing, for comfort, and for sharing important moments. The name itself is a testament to this belief. It promises a small moment of joy and revival, a sweet lift to get you through the day, which is a promise it has kept for dessert lovers all over the world. In the 1980s, tiramisu began its journey from a regional Italian specialty to a global phenomenon. Before this time, it was mostly known only within Italy. The dessert's rise to fame was surprisingly fast. Italian chefs who moved abroad brought the recipe with them, introducing it to diners in London, New York, and Tokyo. Food writers and critics discovered it on their travels to Italy and wrote glowing reviews describing this new, exciting dessert. They praised its unique combination of textures and flavors, the soft, creamy mascarpone, the bitter coffee, and the sweet, airy sponge. The dessert felt both rustic and sophisticated, a perfect symbol of modern Italian cuisine. Pop culture played a huge role in making tiramisu a household name. In the 1993 movie Sleepless in Seattle, Tom Hanks's character hears about tiramisu and has no idea what it is. His friend explains, "It's a mysterious dessert that will change your life." This small mention introduced the dessert to millions of viewers, making it sound exotic and irresistible. Suddenly, everyone wanted to try this life-changing dessert. Tiramisu started appearing on menus in restaurants all over the world, from fancy dining rooms to casual neighborhood trattorias. It became the go-to dessert of the 1990s, a trendy choice that signaled you were in the know about food. As its popularity grew, supermarkets saw an opportunity. They began to produce pre-packaged versions of tiramisu, making it accessible to everyone. You no longer had to go to an Italian restaurant to enjoy it. You could simply pick up a plastic container of it during your weekly grocery shop. Of course, these mass-produced versions were often a pale imitation of the real thing. They sometimes used whipped cream instead of mascarpone and lacked the fresh, bold flavors of a homemade tiramisu. However, they made the dessert even more famous, cementing its place as a beloved international sweet treat. This global exposure meant that tiramisu was no longer just an Italian dessert. It belonged to the world. People everywhere fell in love with its story and its taste. It was easy to make at home, which also contributed to its widespread appeal. Home cooks could find recipes in magazines and cookbooks and impress their friends and family with this elegant Italian creation. The dessert's journey from a quiet restaurant in Italy to supermarket shelves and movie screens around the world is a true testament to its universal charm. It became more than just a dessert, it became a cultural icon. The question of what makes a tiramisu authentic is another source of friendly debate. Purists argue that the true recipe must contain only a few key ingredients. These are high-quality mascarpone cheese, fresh egg yolks, sugar, strong espresso coffee, and savoiardi, which are also known as ladyfinger biscuits. A dusting of unsweetened cocoa powder on top is the final essential touch. For these traditionalists, any deviation from this list is not a real tiramisu. They insist that there should be no cream, no alcohol, and certainly no fruit. The beauty of the classic recipe, they say, lies in its simplicity and the perfect balance of these few perfect ingredients. The most contentious ingredient in the authentic recipe is alcohol. Many classic recipes, especially those from the Veneto region, include a splash of Marsala wine. The wine adds a subtle, complex flavor that complements the coffee and mascarpone. However, other traditional recipes, particularly those from Friuli, often omit it entirely. This disagreement over alcohol highlights the regional differences in the dessert's history. Some chefs also argue about the eggs. Traditional recipes use raw egg yolks, which create a rich, velvety texture. However, due to concerns about salmonella, many modern recipes now use pasteurized eggs or a cooked custard base, known as a zabaglione. As tiramisu became a global star, chefs and home cooks began to experiment with the classic formula. This led to an explosion of creative and delicious variations. The basic structure of layered biscuits and cream is a perfect canvas for new flavors. Fruit tiramisu became very popular, with versions made with strawberries, raspberries, or lemon. The fruit adds a fresh, tangy contrast to the rich cream. Other popular twists include matcha tiramisu, which replaces coffee with Japanese green tea, and chocolate tiramisu, which adds extra layers of chocolate ganache for a more decadent experience. There are even savory versions made with ingredients like tomatoes and basil. These modern twists show how adaptable and beloved tiramisu has become. While purists may shake their heads, these new creations keep the dessert exciting and relevant for new generations. The spirit of tiramisu lives on, whether it is in a classic recipe passed down through a family or in a bold new version served in a trendy cafe. The dessert story continues to evolve, proving that a great idea can inspire endless creativity. From its disputed origins in northern Italy to its countless variations around the world, tiramisu remains a true pick-me-up in every sense of the word, a sweet legend that is here to stay.